Welcome, in this video we will see encryption. Encryption is basically translation of data into secret code. Encryption is the most effective way to achieve data security. To read an encrypted file, you must have access to a secret key or password that enables you to decrypt it. Unencrypted data is called plain text. Encrypted data is referred to as ciphertext. There are two main types of encryption: symmetric encryption, which is also called public encryption; asymmetric encryption, which is also called as public key encryption. In public encryption or asymmetric encryption, a cryptographic system that uses two keys, a public key known to everyone and a private or secret key known only to the recipient of the message. When John wants to send a secure message to Jan, he uses Jan's public message to encrypt the message. Jan then uses her private key to decrypt it. An important element of the public key system is that the public and private keys are related in such a way that the only public key can be used to encrypt messages and only the corresponding private key can be used to decrypt them. Moreover, it is virtually impossible to deduce the private key if you know the public key. Public key systems such as PGP, pretty good privacy, are becoming popular for transmitting information via the internet. They are extremely secure and relatively simple to use. The only difficulty with the public key system is that you need to know the recipient public key to encrypt a message for him or her. Now, symmetric encryption, a type of encryption where the same key is used to encrypt and decrypt the message. This differs from asymmetric encryption, which uses one key to encrypt a message and other to decrypt a message. If you want to know what kind of encryption WhatsApp and Facebook has, that is E2EE, that is end-to-end encryption. End-to-end encryption is a system of communication where only the people communicating can read the messages. No eavesdropper can access the cryptographic keys needed to decrypt the conversation, including telecom providers, internet providers, and the company that runs the messaging service. WhatsApp is now end-to-end encrypted at all time. This will ensure that users' messages, videos, photos sent over WhatsApp can't be read by anyone else. Not WhatsApp, not cyber criminals, not law enforcement agencies. Even calls and group chats will be encrypted. But yet I have heard rumor that Facebook shared information with FBI, CIA and NSA. I'm not sure about it, it is just a rumor. In Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and many more important sites, you will see HTTPS encryption. It means the information you are entering is safe. Usually phishing sites don't have this encryption. Anyhow, if hacker is pro, he will even get HTTPS encryption to the phishing site which he created. So better to check encryption and URL before entering user ID and password. That's all about encryption in brief. Thank you for watching this video. Welcome, in this video we will see keyloggers. Keylogger is a software program or a hardware device that is used to monitor and log each of the keys a user types into a computer keyboard. The hacker who installs the program or hardware into victim's system can view all keystrokes typed by the victim on the keyboard. These programs monitor the keys typed in by the user. A hacker can easily know user password and other information a user may not wish others to know about. Keylogger as surveillance tool are often used by employer to ensure that employees use computer for business purpose only. Keyloggers has even feature to transmit the keystrokes to other third party. Unfortunately, keyloggers can also be embedded in a spyware, allowing your information to be transmitted to an unknown third party. A keylogger is a program that runs in background recording all keystrokes. Once a keystroke are logged, they are hidden in the machine for later review or shipped to the attacker through email. The attacker then pursues them carefully in the hope of finding password or possibly other useful information that could be used to compromise the system or be used in social engineering attack. For example, a keylogger will reveal the contents of all email composed by the victim user. There are various approaches of keylogger. Some keylogger capture screens rather than keystroke. Other keylogger will secretly turn on video or audio recorders and transmit what they capture over your internet connection. In next video, we will see various keylogger software and how to use it. That's all in introduction of Keylogger. Thank you for watching this video. Welcome. In this video, I will demonstrate free Keylogger. See description of this video to download free Keylogger. As I have already downloaded the zip file, free Keylogger, it is in .zip format. First I will extract it. I'll just right click on it and hit on extract files. I'll choose the particular path and hit on OK. Here is free Keylogger extracted. And you need to have WinZip or WinRAR software to extract it. If you don't have, just Google for WinZip or WinRAR, download and install it. Inside it again there is a zip file. I'll extract it again. Setup file. Just right click on it to install. It is asking me administrative privilege. I'm giving it. Next, this is the path. As I have already installed it before, it is asking me would you like to install to that folder anyway. I'll hit on yes. On setup, if I search for free Keylogger, I can get it. Install. Launch free Keylogger. We don't need how it works. I'll hit on finish. As I have already installed it, you can see here in the bar free Keylogger. I just hit on it. Yes, here it is, free Keylogger 3.9. What all you can see here is, let me cover one after the other. Here is a calendar and startup settings. For calendar, in startup setting, automatically start program. By default, automatically start program with Windows is right mark, but not the start program in hidden mode. Just right click it. It is saying me this option and additional monitoring tools are available on our Total Spy software only. That is the Pro version. You have to get the Pro version to start program in hidden mode. Invisibility settings. Hidden mode hotkey, that is Ctrl Shift Alt plus U. If you press Shift Ctrl R plus U, the free keylogger will become visible and invisible, or the window of free keylogger will open and minimize when you press Ctrl Shift Alt and U. Hide in uninstall menu is right check. I think hide in start menu may be for Pro only. No, it's available for free version too. Hide in start menu. Yep. Monitoring. It will monitor keystroke logging, that is, whatever user types on keyboard will be logged or saved. Copy text clipboard. Like if you copy and paste any kind of text, that will be also stored in this keylogger. I will show you in later on what it actually means. Web browsing. It will save all the web URL which the user will visit, and it will keep track of running applications. The last feature is email delivery. It is available on Pro version, that is Total Spy. What it does is, if you enter your email ID, it will send you all keystroke recorded on system to your email. If you install this software on any victim system, it will be helpful for you to get the all information remotely through your email. That's it. Let me show you how it works. Remember, the hidden mode hotkey is Ctrl Shift Alt and U. Don't forget it. Now I'll hit on apply and spy. Invisible monitoring is starting. Hide the icon from the tray. Yes, I want to hide, and if you want to make it visible, that is Shift Ctrl Alt and U to make it visible. Yes. I'll open up the browser and go for google.com. Here is Google. I'll go to Gmail. Sign in. If I type here any user ID and hit on next and hit passwords, anything, and sign in, whatever I wrote here will be recorded in that free keylogger. Let me show you. For that, I will type, to show it up again, I will press Shift Ctrl Alt and U at a time. It showed up here. And here in report for picked data, I will opt for keystrokes and cupboard. As you can see here, what all I typed. In window, google.com, and next Gmail in Google Chrome, and typed user ID and password, that is gouda076@gmail.com. I just type random keywords, that is AFGF and so on. It has just recorded all my keystrokes. So now what if I just copy and paste my user ID and password? For example, I just remove it up, open my notepad. I'll just copy this number, 10-digit number, as a password and paste it here. So will it be able to trace my password or not? Let me check it. In keystroke and cupboard, you can see the copied one is here and here, from where I copied and where I pasted. It can even keep track of web browsing and running application, that is used application, visited websites. Let me show you that also. Just minimize it. I will open some other site. For example, I will again open up gmail.com. I have opened Gmail and I will open up the Paint software. So basically right now I have opened new web page and also a new software that is Paint. Let us see what it has recorded. Invested websites, that is Gmail. Used application, the Paint is not recognized. Let me try some other software. I'll open up Open Office and close it up. It's not basically showing anything. It looks the application part doesn't work on this free keylogger. Let it be. So this is how the free keylogger basically works. Appliance spy. I will again hit on this appliance spy. Yes, it's hidden. So it's basically that simple to use free keylogger. If you want to do real hacking, it's better to get Total Spy because it will be hidden when the computer starts. But the free version will show up in Task Manager or even in the taskbar it will show up, which will turn out your attack into big disaster. That's all. Download the software from description of this video and give your own shot on this software. Thank you for watching this video. Welcome. In this video, we will see world's top 10 internet hackers of all time. We will see 5 black hat hackers and 5 white hat. So let's begin with black hat hackers. A black hat hacker, also known as a cracker, is someone who uses his skill with a criminal intent. Some examples are cracking bank accounts in order to make transfer to their own account, stealing information to be sold in the black market, or attacking the computer network of an organization for money. First guy is Jonathan James. James cracked into NASA computer, stealing software worth approximately $1.7 million. According to the Department of Justice, the software supported the International Space Station's physical environment, including the control of temperature and humidity within the living space. NASA was forced to shut down its computer system, ultimately racking up a $41,000 cost. James explained that he downloaded the code to supplement his studies on C programming, but contended the code itself was crappy, certainly not worth $1.7 million like they claimed. Second, Adrian Lamo. Adrian Lamo was around computer as a very young child. He had Commodore 64 when he was like 6, and his first interest in seeing how things worked behind the scene wasn't all about technology necessarily, and his interest in what you might call hacking isn't really primarily about technology. He said, "It's not sexy when I'm exploring less obvious aspects of the world that don't involve multi-billion corporations. There is a certain amount of tunnel vision there." Last year, Lamo earned the disapproval of his probation officer in closing months of his 2-year probation term when he refused to provide a blood sample for FBI's DNA database. The combined DNA index system was created to catalog violent criminals and sexual predators, but the 2004 Justice for All Act expanded the system to include samples from all new convicted federal felons, including drug offenders and white-collar criminals. Third one is Kevin Matnick. Kevin David Matnick is a computer security consultant and author. In the late 20th century, he was convicted of various computer and communication-related crimes. At the time of arrest, he was world famous as the most wanted computer criminal in the United States. Matnick gained unauthorized access to his first computer network in 1979 at 16 when a friend gave him the phone number of the ARK, the Computer System Digital Equipment Corporation, used for developing their RSDS operating system software. He broke into DEC's, that is Digital Equipment Corporation computer network, and copied DEC's software, a crime he was charged with and convicted of in 1988. He was sentenced to 12 months in prison followed by 3 years of supervised release. Near the end of his supervised release, Metnick hacked into Pacific Bell voicemail computers. After a warrant was issued for his arrest, Metnick fled, becoming a fugitive for 2.5 years. According to the US Department of Justice, Metnick gained the unauthorized access of dozens of computer networks while he was a fugitive. He used cloned cellular phones to hide his location and, among other things, copied valuable property software from some of the country's largest cellular telephone and computer companies. Metnick also intercepted and stole computer password, altered computer network, and broke into and read private email. Metnick was apprehended in February 1995 in North Carolina. He was found with cloned cellular phone, more than 100 cloned cellular phone codes, and multiple pieces of false identification. Fourth, Kevin Poulson. Kevin Poulson was among the most accomplished, multi-talented hackers. He worked for Sri International day by day and hacked at night under the handle Dark Daint. He trained to be complete hacker and even taught himself lockpicking. Among other things, Poulson reactivated old yellow page, a scout telephone number for an acquaintance that then ran a virtual agency. When the FBI started pursuing Poulson, he went underground as a fugitive. When he was featured on NBC's Unsolved Mysteries, the show's telephone lines mysteriously crashed. He was finally arrested in February 1995. Poulson's best-known hack was a takeover of all the telephone lines for Los Angeles radio station, guaranteeing that he would be the 102nd caller and winning a Porsche 954 S2. In June 1984, Poulson pleaded guilty to 7 counts of mail, wire, and computer fraud, money laundering, and obstruction of justice, and was sentenced to 51 months in prison and ordered to pay $56,000 in restitution. It was the longest sentence ever given for hacking up to that time. He also later pleaded guilty to breaking into computers and obtaining information on undercover businesses run by the FBI. Fifth and the last one in Black Hat, that is Robert Tappan Morris. Morris, son of former National Security Agency scientist Robert Morris, is known as creator of the Morris worm, the first computer worm to be unleashed on the internet. As a result of this crime, he was the first person prosecuted under the 1986 Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Morris wrote the code for the worm while he was a student at Cornell. He asserts that he intended to use it to see how large the internet was. The worm, however, replicated itself excessively, slowing computers down so that they were no longer usable. It is not possible to know how many computers were affected, but experts estimated an impact of 6,000 machines. He was sentenced to 3 years probation, 400 hours of community service, and fined $10,500. So this was about all-time top Black Hat hackers. In next video we will see White Hat hackers. Thank you for watching this video. Welcome to email hacking part. Before we do any kind of email hacking, let us understand how email works. Email sending and receiving is controlled by the email servers. All email service providers configure email server before anyone can sign into his or her account and start communicating digitally. Once the servers are ready to go, users from across the world register into these email servers and set up an email account. When they have fully working email account, they sign into their accounts and start connecting to other users using the email service. Now let's understand email traveling path. Let's say we have 2 email providers. One is gmail.com and other is Yahoo. ABC is a registered user on Gmail and XYZ is registered user on Yahoo. ABC signs into his email account in Gmail. He then writes email to xyz@yahoo.in and click on send and gets the message that the email is sent successfully. But what happens behind the curtains? The email from the computer of abc@gmail.com is forwarded to the email server of gmail.com. Gmail then looks for yahoo.com on the internet and forwards the email of the yahoo.com for the account of XYZ. Yahoo receives the email from Gmail and puts it into the account of XYZ. XYZ then sits on computer and signs into her email account. Now she has the message in her email inbox. That's it, pretty simple. That's how email travels, or you can say email traveling path. Now we will see few email service protocols. SMTP. SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. SMTP is used when email is delivered from an email client such as Outlook Express to an email server, or when email is delivered from one email server to another. SMTP uses port 25. POP3. POP3 stands for Post Office Protocol. POP3 allows an email client to download an email from an email server. POP3 protocol is simple and does not offer any feature except for download. Its design assumes that the email client downloads all available email from the server. POP3 normally uses port 110. IMAP. IMAP stands for Internet Message Access Protocol. IMAP shares many similar features with POP3. It too is a protocol that an email client can use to download email from an email server. However, IMAP includes many more features than POP3. The IMAP protocol is designed to let users keep their email on the server. IMAP requires more disk space on the server and more CPU resources than POP3. As all the emails are stored on the server, IMAP normally uses port 143. Now let's see email security. Now let's check how secure this fast means of communication is. There are so many attacks which are applied on the emails. There are the people who are the master of these email attacks, and they always look for the innocent people who are not aware of these email tricks and ready to get caught in their trap. You have to make sure that you are not an easy target for those people. You have to secure your email identity and profile. Make yourself a tough target. If you have an email ID, do not feel that it does not matter if hacked, because you do not know if someone gets your email ID password and uses your email to send a threatening email to the ministry or to the news channel. Attacker is not bothered about your data in the email. He just wants an email ID victim which will be used in the attack. There are lots of ways by which one can use your email in working means. I am sure that you would have come across some of the case where a student gets an email from his friend abusing him, or cases on porn emails where the owner of the email does not know anything about the email sent. Now let's see email spoofing. Email spoofing is the forgery of an email header so that the message appears to have originated from someone or somewhere other than the actual source. Distributors of spam often use spoofing in an attempt to get recipient to open and possibly even respond to. Spoofing can be used legitimately. There are so many ways to send fake email without knowing the password of the email ID. Internet is so vulnerable that you can use anybody's email ID to send a threatening email to any official personnel. Methods to send fake email: Open Relay Server and web scripts. That's all in this video. We'll continue more about email hacking in next video. Thank you for watching this video. Welcome, in this video we will see email tracing. Tracing an email means locating the original sender and getting to know the IP address of the network from which the email was actually generated. To get the information about the sender of the email, we first must know the structure of email. Each message has exactly one header which is structured into fields. Each field has name and value. Header of the email contains all the valuable information about the path and original sender of the email. For tracing an email address, you need to go to your email account and log into the email which you want to trace. After that, you have to find the header file of the email which is received by you. You will get the source code of the email. For Rediff, when you open any email, go to Show Full Header. For Yahoo Mail, open any mail and go to Full Headers. For Gmail, open the mail and click on down mark next to the reply and right click on Show Original. Once you have the IP address of the sender, go to any website which gives actual location using IP address. There are n number of such websites. And trace the user. And you are done, we have traced the person. The one who sent the email used VPN means you will be disguised to wrong location instead of original location of user. That's where this email tracing fails. In front of proxy VPN, email tracing completely fails. But at email tracing will be useful as many of them don't use VPN. That's all. Thank you for watching this video. Welcome, in this video we will see how to check if your Gmail account is hacked. I feel this one is very much important as Gmail accounts are easily hacked because one sets the most easiest password to Gmail which one can easily guess, and one don't use Gmail account frequently. So basically hacker uses your Gmail account to reset the password of Facebook and Twitter accounts. So it's very important to know if your Gmail account is hacked. To check, first you have to log in into your Gmail account. Then open any random email. Scroll down and reach to the end of the email. You will see here the table of most recent activity from your Gmail account. It shows you how it was accessed, that is browser or mobile, where exactly is the IP address, and when it was accessed. If you notice any suspicious access to your account, then your account is already hacked. If your account is hacked, then reset the password and then change the phone number associated with your Gmail account. And the most important thing to remember is if you have used the same password for Facebook which you had used for hacked Gmail account, then do change the password where you had set the same one which was hacked. It may look silly, but believe me, it is very much important. So that's all in how to check if your Gmail account is hacked. Thank you for watching this video. Welcome, in this video we will see Google hacking. As we all know, Google is a search engine. Google hacking involves using advanced search operators in Google search engine to locate specific string of text within search results. Some of the more popular examples are finding specific version of vulnerable web applications. You can look for particular file types, password files, and directories. Even you can find out the IP-based CCTV cameras. For example, I will search for entitled hacking. This search will give the list of all the websites with title hacking. If I search for file type doc in title hacking with double quotation, this search will give you the list of all website links containing the MS Word document of the name hacking. To find the CCTV all over the world, in URL indexframe.html. This search will give you the list of all website links for the CCTV cameras over the world. More commands for CCTV camera we will see in another video in depth. And if I search for .php ID equals to, I will get a list of websites which are vulnerable to SQL injections. In separate one video, we will see in-depth SQL injections. That's all about Google hacking in brief. Thank you for watching this video. Welcome. In this video we will see Windows hacking and security. First, let's see security architecture of Windows operating system. And before I begin, I want to make it clear that the security architecture of what I'm going to discuss is about Windows XP, Windows 7 and Windows 2000, Windows XP, not Windows 10 or Windows 8. Because basically I have not yet figured out how the security of Windows 10 works. Usually Microsoft add one more layer of security over the before operating systems, so I will discuss security architecture of Windows in general. There are three components of Windows security, that is LSA, Local Security Authority, SAM, Security Account Manager, SRM, Security Reference Monitor, and all three are arranged in this manner, as you can see in this diagram. First, let us say LSA, that is Local Security Authority, in depth. LSA is central part of security. It is also known as security subsystem. The Local Security Authority is a key component of logon process in both Windows NT and Windows 2000. In Windows 2000, the LSA is responsible for validating users for both local and remote logons. The LSA also maintains the local security policy. During the local login to a machine, a person enters his name and password to the login dialog. This information is passed to the LSA, which then calls the appropriate authentication package. The password is sent in non-reversible security key format using one-way hash function. The LSA then queries the SAM database for user account information. If the key provided matches the one in the SAM returns the user's SID and the SIDs of any group the user belongs to. The LSA then uses these SIDs to generate the security access token. Now next, SAM, that is Security Account Manager. Security Account Manager is a database in the Windows operating system that contains username and passwords. SAM is a part of registry and can be found on the hard disk. This service is responsible for making connection to the SAM database, contains available user accounts and groups. The SAM database can either be placed in local registry or in the Active Directory. When the service has made the connection, it announces to the system that SAM database is available, so other services can start accessing the SAM database. In the SAM, each user account can be assigned a Windows password, which is in encrypted form. If someone attempts to log on to the system and the username and associate password match an entry in the SAM, a sequence of events takes place, ultimately allowing the person access to the system. If the username or password do not properly match any entry in the SAM, an error message is returned requesting that the information should be entered again. When you make a new user account with a password, it gets stored in the SAM file. The Windows security files are located at c:/Windows/system32/config/SAM. The moment operating system starts, the SAM file becomes inaccessible. Now let's see SRM. SRM is Security Reference Monitor. The Security Reference Monitor is a security architecture component that is used to control user requests to access objects in the system. The SRM enforces the access validation and audit generation. Windows NT forwards the access to the object. Any access to an object must be first validated by the SRM. For example, if a user wants to access a specific file, the SRM will be used to validate the request. The Security Reference Monitor enforces access validation and audit generation policy. The Reference Monitor verifies the nature of request against a table of allowable access types for each process on the system. For example, Windows 3X and 9X operating system were not built with the Reference Monitor, where the Windows NT line, which also includes Windows 2000 and Windows XP, was designed with an entirely different architecture and does not contain a reference monitor. So basically, encrypted hashes are stored in SAM file. Like here, clear text is converted to hash, encrypted to hash and stored in SAM. The SAM file contains all the username and passwords, but they are encrypted in hashes. So that's all about Windows security. In next video, we will see how to crack it or hack it. Thank you for watching this video. Welcome. In this video, we will see cracking Windows users account password. Passwords are stored and transmitted in an encrypted form called hash. When a user logs on to a system and enters a password, a hash is generated and compared to stored hash. If the entered and stored hashes match, the user is authenticated. This we saw in the last video in Windows security in depth. Now let us see it can be cracked or not. If yes, means how. Passwords may be cracked manually or with automated tools such as brute force method or the rainbow table attack. Now let us see what we can do. We cannot recover the password from encrypted hash from SAM file. So what options do we have? Can we just remove the hash from SAM file, which will remove the password from user account? Next time we will try to log in, Windows will not ask for password. Or can we replace the hash in the SAM file with a new hash, which will replace the password for that user account, so that next time we will try to log in, we can give the newly replaced password. Or use the command in the command prompt, type new password to reset the hash, leave blank and hit enter to remove the password. If I open where that SAM file is, that is inside local C disk Windows System32 config file and the SAM file. The hashes are stored in this SAM file, as you can see here. Now we need to attack this file. For this, we need to open this file, but it is not possible as it is in process by the computer from its startup. And we suppose that the file opens, then also we cannot see the password stored in it, because they are encrypted in the form of hashes. I'm not saying it cannot be decrypted, it can be done, but it's very hard. Okay, so can we hack the password of Windows account? The answer is yes. Now let's see how it can be done. As you can see, my Windows is locked and I don't know the password. Now I will show you how to crack into it. It's pretty simple. First restart computer. When computer restart and you see starting Windows, abruptly shut down the computer and then start it again. You will see this: launch startup repair or start Windows normally. Select Launch Startup Repair and press Enter. Windows loading files will show up. Startup Repair will launch. This takes 10 to 15 minutes. Just don't do anything and stay quiet. New window will pop up. Click on drop down of View Problem Details. Now scroll all the way down to last link. Finally, this pop-up box will show up. Here it is. This will open a text file. Here click on File, Open, click on Computer. Now make sure you select local disk where all your Windows system files are stored. All the drive letters are a bit different here than usual. Open local disk. Now open Windows. Now select all files in files of type. Now find System32 and open it up. Now look for Cctv, that is Setthc. Here it is. Just rename it as Setthc0. Click away to save it. Now look for cmd. Here it is. Now copy cmd. Scroll down to bottom and paste it. Rename this cmd copy as Setthc. Click away to save. Now close. Close this too. Click on Don't Send. Click on Finish. System will turn off. Start the computer. We still can't log in, but we did some modification that we can open command prompt from here. That is, we change the sticky keys to command prompt. Now if I press 5 times shift key, command prompt will appear. In command prompt, type net user and hit enter to see all users. I have only one, that is Amit, that is my name. Now I will type net user Amit space star and hit enter. Now here you can change the password or leave it blank. I have set single word as password and hit enter. Confirm password. I'll again type my single word password and hit enter. So now I have set a password. I'll type that password here and log in. Welcome shows up. Now I have successfully logged into my Windows 7. That's it in hacking into password protected Windows system. Thank you for watching this video.